and welcome back to part 2 of my tutorial for our festive retreat. And today I'm going to be showing you how we decorated the mini paper pumpkin box. Okay, so first of all we have the tags that we have in one side of the compartments. So these are small 7 by 7 centimetre cards. And then next we have the long tags. That both of these were made from one sheet. So you've got one sheet for the long tags and one sheet of A4 for the square cards. Okay, so I'm going to take you down onto the desk now and I will show you how we are going to compile these. First of all, I'm going to be showing you our finished result. So here is our mini paper pumpkin box. Okay, and this is the decoration we're going to do today and the bow on the side here. Now if I open up this box, I had to show you the finished result before it all got opened. So if I show you the contents inside, we will be making a little divider here so you can give this as a present. These are all made from products within the Snowflake Splendor suite that the retreat attendees had, and also some extra little bits of bling and assorted extras that we added into their kits. So these are all small little cards. This was some of our gorgeous mesh, the silver mesh. That is just wonderful. And just 6 little tags there. And then these ones are long ones. This was a separate shape that we cut out with some extra ribbons just to show people how to create that one. And then all of these were the 6 cards from one sheet of A4 card. So these, I'll just quickly flick through those. This one seems to be a little bit shorter for some reason. I'm not quite sure why. And that just stuck to the back of that one. And these are all the colours that they received in their kit. Okay, so I'll pop that to one side at the moment. So here's my sheet of Whisper White A4 cardstock. Imagine this has been cut down the centre, this way on, at 10.5 centimetres through the middle. You will then cut the cardstock into 2 inches or 5 centimetres pieces all the way along the top and all the way along the bottom. And then I have used the detailed tag topper punch to punch this lovely shape at the top. The hole and the fancy end is all done in one. Okay, I will leave details of that at the end of the video. So that's for the first type. For the second type of tags, we're going to do a different cut. I've suggested in my instructions that we score this way on at 7 centimetres all the way down, and then cut at 14, and then we will repeat. So move that along with the piece you have left, and again you will score at 7 and cut at 14. There will be a tiny little piece left over down the end here. After you've done that, you will be left with 2 big pieces. We will turn it this way on and we will cut. This is 21 centimetres, so we will cut across here at 7 and 7 again. So you can see you will make 6 tags out of one sheet of A4 cardstock and only be left with a tiny little slither along the end. Okay, so that's how we make our 2 types of cards. So this is the piece for the divider in the centre. So I'm going to take my paper trimmer and I will show you the cut measurements here at 7.5, at 10, and at 12.5. So all of those 3 measurements will be scored along there. Next, I like to just gently crease these as to where I would like them, and I'm actually going to make a valley and mountain folds here. So what we're going to achieve is actually having a little, if you look at it like that, it's a W. So I need my bone folder to make those nice crisp edges. So this one is along that edge there, and then these ones come back on each other. So let's come back, and then this one will come back as well. Please don't panic because they are different lengths. I've deliberately done that because the long tags will go in this side and the square tags will go in this side. Okay, so the measurements are correct. You will end up with different sizes. Now in this centre piece here, we will stick that together so it doesn't move. Your choice of adhesives, whatever you like. I'm going to use my Stampin Seal Plus today, and I'm just going to pop a line along there and lift, and one along the middle fold and lift. Fold those over, making sure those edges are nice and parallel, and I will just burnish that with a bone folder to get them to stick together nicely. Now that will fit as a divider inside our mini paper pumpkin box. To assemble our paper pumpkin boxes, all the score lines have been done for you, no glue required, everything is nice and easy. I do like to just poke out these 4 pieces because they are waste and they will just annoy me. So these will just, that's just how they're manufactured. Okay, so those 4 will go over there out of the way. So you're going to start by bending these edges. Because it's card, they are very, very thick folds. All of these edges need to be burnished. Okay, and now we have all our pieces ready done. Now some people prefer to work flat. Some people prefer to work when they're with their box assembled so they know where they're going. The danger of doing it before you do this is the fact that you need to know which panels you're going to decorate. Now, if you're in doubt as to which ones to decorate, you could put a little cross in the middle of them. So this is going to assemble, this is going to be the lid. This is going to be the front flap, and that's going to go in, so that one will be covered. The back will be covered. This is the lid, so these sides will come in, and this piece will be decorated, and this piece will be decorated. So if I show you that when it's open, you could mark yours accordingly. So we have a cross here. I'll just make them darker actually. We have a cross here, across here, across here, across here, and across here. Okay, so that's the top. And these are the 4 sides. You've got front and back and side and side. Okay, so that just helps you just to line up which pieces you're going to decorate. I do like to build mine in situ once it's all been done and assembled. The reason being, when you go around where the folds are, you can misjudge where the middle is. So I like to bring these sides in, and this flap will just come over, and those holes that I popped out earlier will just lock through. So the sides come in, this comes over, and then they will lock in place. Okay, so that is your base of your box. So you've got the sides that we're going to decorate. These are the flaps that will come inside the box, and then these 2 will tuck in at the edges. Oops. We'll go in there. Because I'm on camera, it won't go. There we go. So those edges will come in there. I think that's got a little bit of a nick on there. It's probably been a little bit squashed. So just in where I was preparing. Okay, so there is our box. Today I'm using the Pacific Point cardstock underneath, and that measures 13.5 centimetres this way by 9 centimetres that way. I have gutted the middle out of this because we're going to use that for the label on the top. The designer series paper that goes on top of that is measured at 13 centimetres by 8 centimetres. So I'll use my Tombow and adhere those 2 together. Just round the outside edge, so that's going to secure nicely, but I won't put a dot in the middle because there's a hole. So that goes on there like so. So that's going to go on the top. Before we stick this down, I'm going to come back and I'm going to add some ribbon. I'm going to have a layer that ties round here. So I'm using the Snowflake Splendor ribbon, and I will wrap a piece round here. The opening is at the front nearest me, and I will need a piece just to tie a bow on there. So however long you'd like to leave that. So I have my snips, and I'll just cut that off at a jaunty angle. So we don't want that to go over the top of the ribbon, so I'm going to open this up. Now you can see, if I hold this up to you, the ends of the ribbon are both facing me near the opening of the box. So this is going to be where that's going to place. So I have my tear and tape here. Find the end. And this is about the centre of the box. I'm going to stick a piece of tape through the middle of that just to anchor it in place. This way, when the gift is opened, the ribbon won't all fall apart. Okay, so this is the panel we're going to stick on the top now. Because there's ribbon, top and bottom, I'm going to place my tear and tape. Does it do exactly what it says on the tin? You pop the tape along and then you will tear the end of it. And we're adhering that in the centre of that box lid. Okay, making sure to press down on all those edges. Okay, so there is our box. Now for next we have our flaps. I'll pop that aside for now. Here I've pre-cut the panels for the sides of my mini paper pumpkin box, and I'll run through the measurements. The first one here, the front and back, these two are 14 centimetres by 2 centimetres in the Pacific point at the bottom, and these two are 9 centimetres by 2 centimetres. And then the designer series paper layers are 13.5 by 1.5 twice, and then the shorter ones are 8.5 by 1.5 twice. There we are, we've finished, and all of those sides now are going to be attached to my box. So I will add these onto here, like so, and the back and the two sides. With hindsight, I would recommend that you adhere the 4 sides before you adhere the top, and then your ribbon won't be in the way like mine is. Okay, that's all the sides in place. We have a front, back, right and left. So I'm now going to tie my ribbon and keep those ends out of the way while we decorate the embellishment on the top. This snowflake ribbon is quite stiff, it's quite scratchy. It's beautiful, it sparkles lovely, but you just need to be conscious of that when you're tying, that it's not a slippery ribbon, it's just a stiff ribbon really. But it's lovely because it shimmers beautifully. Okay, I'm trying to get that so that the tails go along the side of the box and looks a beautiful gift. Okay, so I'm going to pop that on the corner there, and we're going to assemble our tag for the middle. You will remember that this is one of the panels that was cut out from the centre of this matte layer underneath. So I'm going to put some Tombow on there and adhere that down into the centre. Make sure that's nice and straight. Eyeballing top to bottom and left to right. Okay. Let's do a little bit further over. There we go. Next I have a Whisper white label to go over the top of this one. We're going to stamp on that with the sentiment from Snowflake Wishes in the bottom corner here. So Snowflake Wishes, beautiful stamp set, and this is the greeting down here. Because there are so many stamps in this case, the size of this stamp is slightly larger, and I will be using this one here. That is the size of that stamp there. It says, in the coldest moments of the year, my heart is warm because you're near. I think that's a lovely sentiment. So that's going to be stamped, and we will use the Pacific Point ink pad that coordinates beautifully. That is the reason that I joined Stampin' Up, because of the coordination between all their products. So this label, well, both of those labels come from the Tasteful Touches suite, but it's actually the Tasteful labels dies that go with that suite. So the stamps are underneath and the dies are here. So I've used that one, the largest there and the largest there. So we'll open the ink and get stamping. I'm gently tapping this on the ink pad here to get a good coverage. And then we'll stamp this in the middle. Beautiful. It's important to let that dry now before you turn that over to put foam pads, Stampin' Dimensionals on the back. If you turn it over too soon, it just takes a few seconds for the ink to dry. Using our Stampin' Dimensionals, So that will be dry by now. So I'll just pop one each end, and then one top and bottom. I do encourage you to use enough Stampin' dimensionals. For that size area, that's enough dimensionals. If you don't support it enough, it will sag. So when you give it as a gift, if it's a card especially and it's gone in the post, then the card, by the time it gets the other end, could have a severe dip in the centre, and that doesn't look so nice. Spent all that time making it, and you need it to be presented nicely when it gets the other end. So I'm just going to place this in the centre, and because we've raised it, it will offset that beautifully. Okay, so there we are, offset. Now the next step I'm going to bring on is the snowflakes. We're going to decorate these white patches here and have the snowflakes overhanging off the edges. So I'm going to just share with you another little tip. I use my silicone mat all the time. So the silicone mat is lovely. We're going to put some Tombow on here, and I just wanted to show you, I've cleaned one half of the mat here from when I used it last. I just wanted to show you how easy it is to clean this. Can you see I've got residue of glue on here? Okay, this side is nice and clean. Normally I would take it to the sink and leave it to soak and wash it. Just want to show you there's no need to do that. So if I just spritz this with some water, this is just a hair product container that I fill up with water when needs must. I'm going to take a piece of kitchen towel and I'm just going to stroke this. If I rub this, can you see how easily all these pieces just rub off and just come together? Okay, then I'll just turn to a clean piece of kitchen paper and just wipe over the top again. Because it's silicone, it resists the glue. Now, it's also great for using your hot glue gun on. Anything you need to stick, that is the answer. So one of these, and they're very inexpensive. They're really wonderful. There are lots of other things you can do with it. I actually have more than one. I keep one with my Stamparatus, and I will be releasing videos later on as to why I keep that in there. It does have a really good purpose. So I'm going to put the snowflakes across that I'm going to build. So I'm going to have the white onto the blue and the blue onto the white, and then a centre in the middle of each one. So just move those up a little bit. The reason I'm showing you this is because I'm going to put a puddle of Tombow in here. And I use a random piece of sponge. I've got some really sticky edges here from last time I used it, so I just give that a little haircut. And then I will use that surface there. So I'm going to just dab that in there. And what this will do is spread the glue evenly. If you try to put some adhesive on here, it would splodge it everywhere, whereas we want a nice even coating, not great big thick lumps of it. So what I'm going to do, there's some ink on the back of that. Just going to dab that over the back there, and I do use my tweezers. So I'll pick that up and place that in the centre of this snowflake, but offset like so. It's going to be offset in the middle. And then this one, I will put a foam pad in the middle of that one. So we're going to place a small foam pad in the middle here, and then turn that over and place that in the centre. I try to offset those as well. So this is offset in the gaps. So this one will be offset back to this silver. So you can see the nice white pieces through the middle. Taking care not to put your hand in the glue underneath. Okay, so that's one of the snowflakes. I'm going to do the same with this one. Okay, so they're ready to go on to our project. So if I move the silicone mat to one side and bring back my box, I will have one over this side to cover up the gap there. Because this is going to overhang off the side here, I'm going to place one glue dot either side. So I'm going to place one here in that little well, and I'm going to place one this side in the little well, because they're going to be roughly symmetrical, and that will just help support it a little bit. So we'll start with the blue one here, the Pacific point, and that's going to sit there. So these three here will be attached So I want those 3 to have some adhesive on them. So again, I'll just off camera, I'm just tapping the glue onto those 3 prongs, so that will attach to the lid. Just there. Try not to cover your words up. And then that will support it where that little glue dot is as well. So just make sure that they're stuck down. And then we'll do the same in this corner here. Again, making sure not to cover my words. I'll bring that up so you can see. Okay, so you can see how that looks. Okay, now I do like to finish that off. I will pop a rhinestone gem into the centre of there. So I've got my clear rhinestone gems here. I'm going to place, because we like our bling, I'm going to place a large gem in the centre of these. And then I'll place one of the tiny ones just at the other 2 corners so they don't feel left out. One there and one there. So here is our box is finished. I'll just bring that up to the camera so that you can see how that looks close up. Okay, so you can see how the snowflakes fill some of that white space at the sides there. Okay, beautiful gift. And also these boxes, the mini paper pumpkin boxes, will fit our note cards and envelopes perfectly. So you could gift a set of cards for any occasion. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial today. If this is your first visit, please click on the subscribe button below. And if you ring the bell too, you will be notified of future videos as I release them. My contact details will be at the end of the video and in the description below. Thanks again for joining me, and I hope to see you here again soon. Bye for now.